Hi, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Today we're going to look at the Doinker Champion Stabilizer. Now this is one of the most expensive stabilizers on the market. It's thin, which means you're going to get less air resistance, so less movement in wind. Comes with a doinker down the front and some weights. I think that's about 7 ounces of weights and a little rubber dampener. Australian price on this is 550 Australian dollars. Now it depends on what's happening with the Australian dollar at the time, because the Australian dollar is all over the place. Now I think this is a little bit thinner than the other stabilizers. Now I've got a dead center Icon X, and you can see the difference in thickness. It's quite clearly thinner. It's one of the thinnest stabilizers on the market, and I think it's the thinnest that I can see. The Conquest, they produce a thin stabilizer as well. This is slightly cheaper in price. Doinker also has another one called the Podium, which is not quite half price, but around that. So we're going to compare that in another video. Let's fit this and see how it shoots. Now, when it comes to Doinker, Doinker is really famous for these things here, these little rubber things to absorb shot. Now with this Doinker, you can see it's made out of plastic and there's rubber inside. With other types of rubber systems, if you put a lot of weight on it, it just snaps off. This has got plastic here to stop it, snapping. So I think that's pretty good. Now I'm only new to Doinker. Doinker has just appointed me a distributor for Australia. So it was handled by other people before. I'm going to say they're pretty much into the target realm, but they do have hunting stabilizers as well. I'm going to say before I started distributing them, they were quite expensive in Australia, and I think that was just markup. 550. Now this stabilizer is really stiff, so I normally put them on a bench and I sort of flex it. One of my friends in Perry flexed one of the Icons just in his hands and snapped the thing. This is really stiff. I don't think my friend in Port Pirie could snap one of these, but I could be wrong. He is massive, so anyway, let's have a feel for what it sits like. That sits pretty good in the hand. Now Doinker obviously make Doinkers. They make V-bars and sidebars and weights. Wow. Right, so when I was shooting this is the elite verdict. When I was shooting this the other day, literally yesterday, I said in the video when I shoot the bow, because I was trying out different modules, I said I could feel a slight vibration, a hum in the bow after I shoot it. This stabilizer takes out the whole lot of it. Now I'm going to say that's probably the Doinker doing it, and if you fit in a Doinker to your Icon X or whatever stabilizer you choose, it will probably take that away. But this, amazing. That is an amazing product. Now I've tried stabilizers before, obviously. Now some of the stiff stabilizers, they give you a lot of resonance backwards and forwards, and in fact sometimes a slightly not as stiff stabilizer is more effective, especially if you have less weight on there. But this, amazing product. Now 550 is a lot of money. Now I'm going to say, am I going to shoot any better with this over the Icon X or over any other stabilizer? Well, it is a little bit thinner, so I may get a little less wind movement. But just for regular shooting on a nice day, probably not a lot of difference. However, if it takes off some of that vibration and I shoot a lot, it means less vibration coming into my body, and that's a good thing. So I really, really like this stabilizer. I'm going to state again, I am the distributor for this product, so conflict of interest and all that. However, I am the distributor for Dead Sander and Conquest and Shrewd and lots of other stabilizers. I think this is the best stabilizer I've tried to date. I've been very happy with the Dead Center Icon X, very happy. No complaints, but I can feel the difference. So with that, they come in 27, 30, I think 33 inches long. This is 30, and that's pretty good for me. Now, the longer the stabilizer, the less weight you need. The shorter the stabilizer, the more weight you need to have the same effect as far as balancing. The longer the stabilizer, the more wind you're going to get. So you kind of have to think about it. Some of it just is how long you want the stabilizer to sort of balance the bow when you just rest it. So for me, 30 inches is pretty much what I shoot. Sometimes I shoot 32. But this is the go. Now, the interesting thing will be, will the podium from Doinker, I'm just looking at the name of the stabilizer, will the podium, which is about a $300 stabilizer, will it be as good as this? Superior. Really, really good. Now, if you can, it's always really good to try product. So if you can try different stabilizers, or your mate's got a stabilizer, you can have a shot with it. This is the first time I've shot this stabilizer. Literally, I just pulled out the package to do this review. This is the best. The best. Anyway, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Thanks for watching. Bye.